That's Hunter.
My man's.
I'm gonna just sit here in silence for a second because I don't even know. I don't know who I am. I know who you are. You feel me? Like,
bro.
No, I gotta make sure I give you your roses first because I said this whenever you got a chance to talk. Everything from obviously we know the music is phenomenal, but your output, your consistency, even the way that your energy, like your genuine energy flows through these videos that you've been doing, these short form, fam, like you are redefining the producer video for so many producers. They can't get away with this anymore. You are changing that. And I appreciate you for upping the game and setting the bar. That's all I had to say. I'm gonna shut up.
I appreciate that, man. Real talk. I appreciate it, bro. Cause it's all. You from Cali?
I am from Cali.
See,
you picked that lingo up real quick too.
Yeah, bro, I know you from Cali if you say weird. Like if you say you weird, like that's a Cali
it's a weirdo behavior. You know, you know how it is. But bro, I want to say this because I wanted to talk to you. Honestly, I had it to reach out to you the top of the year. I want to start highlighting stories outside of my own. And I want to talk to folks that have done some amazing DIY things, is what I call them, do-it-yourself things, and have expanded what they're doing in a non-conventional way. And brother, like you have done that. And you know, I'm kicking myself for not following sooner, but I thought I was already following you.
It's good.
It kept popping up on my Explore page. I'm like, I must be following him. It's always on my timeline. But when did the pivot happen for you? Like, when did the pivot happen where we all are in a space where we're doing sort of the things we've been seen done before, and then you decide, you know what, I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah, 2020 hindsight, man.
Really?
Hindsight 2020, bro. It was like the prototype mindset then. I'm a church head, so I was playing church all my life, and so I was like, you know, I'm gonna resign. I'm gonna focus, like hyper focus on my business and like really figure this thing out.
Right.
And my daughter was already she just turned 1. And so, you know, the wife and I, we needed a bigger space to live. We were in a 1-bedroom apartment, bro. Like it was,
man,
Cali, dog. And I was like, we got to figure this out.
Yeah.
And so I took faith, man. And then YouTube was the start for me. I started there. And then once I started really getting into like business and marketing products and building genuine relationships, my man, John Mike is in the building. And he's played an instrumental role in like the mindset shift to business. So I took like a year and a half off from music altogether. And I was like, let me just focus on like teaching people, helping people.
How do you take a year? You said a year and a half?
Yeah, bro. Like the beats that I was doing would be on YouTube. Like I would literally do the thing on YouTube and teach people how to do it. And so I didn't do anything for myself. I didn't produce for other people. It was just like I just needed to focus. And so after that, man, that love for music and that passion just, you know, is there. And so on a random day, on a random Thursday,
things will work out.
Random Thursday, bro. Like it hit me, man. I heard Earth, Wind and Fire playing in the back, that vamp, and I was just like, no one has ever thought to flip it this way.
Because we're terrified. And you walked where many of us have seen people get arrows shot at them. remember Jay-Z talked about Kanye being the person that would go over the mountain and take the arrows. You did that with a really recognizable sample that I know I for sure. Like, there's certain folks, the Beatles, I don't want no smoke.
Yeah, I hear
right?
you.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, and that's only because not that they're just because in my household they might as well be the Beatles growing up, but my pops had cemented every transition in my young brain to where I didn't know music theory, but I knew what was coming next in this music.
Yeah.
How to approach that the way that you did and create such a, like, that went massive, bro. That went crazy.
That was it. That was the moment of, like, I felt like God was like, it's your time. This is it. This is it. It's time. Like, what you've been waiting for, what you've been, man, like you said, like, every video you drop cuts so deep in my spirit in such a good way. It's like literally like cutting through bone marrow, bro. It's literally like that. It's like, because everything you drop is like, I lived it. Everything you say, I've lived it. And so that was that moment, man. Like, I've been making beats for years, slept on for years, underrated for years, been making beat videos for years, years and years and years, man. And God was like, hey, it's time. Let's get up and go.
Ain't it, bro?
It's, dude.
I know you a God-fearing man like myself. I was brought up in the church. Being in the church and seeing my moms play piano and be the choir director and seeing the drummer, I say it in my book, I attribute that time of being in the front pew as the reason I'm doing music. The reason I use choirs in my beats so much is because I know what it sounds like to have a multi-harmony. I know what it sounds like live.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like old Baptist churches in LA, like South Central LA. And I'm just like, we lived next door to the church that we attended.
Come on.
St. Peter's Rock. I never forget. And we would go to that church and I would see they had the, it's like the 90s. They had those the church pain old
yeah.
yeah. I remember being in there, bro, and seeing moms play the keys, and it just made me fall in love with music, being in that environment. But isn't it amazing when I feel like God gave me a message this year, and the biggest message wasn't even necessarily, I guess, a business thing, but it was more so about allowing outside energy, troll energy or negative energy sort of my path. And I kept hearing bright as day. I know people always talk about when they hear God talk to them. I feel like I finally know what that sounds like.
Yeah.
Clear as day, he said, stay patient, stay obedient, discipline. Have I ever missed? I feel like it's delivered in a way where it may not sound like what God sounds like to someone else, but that's the way that I had to hear it for myself. Right? And I heard, have I ever missed? And it hit me so hard, bro. I got to the point where I was like,
that's good.
God, I don't have a response because you've never missed. So the walk in faith right now, I'm living in that. And I'm so glad that you chose to. Thank you for sending a request, because I'm so glad to talk to you. But I would love to hear from your perspective, because I'm now pivoting from doing primarily producer content and starting to broaden out into more motivation, inspiration that is not just cemented in music, doesn't have producer in every title.
Yeah.
That's a scary place for me to go. But I also know that God is like, I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that everything around you aligns with what's going on. What words of encouragement could you give to someone like myself, or even someone that was in a similar position as you, where it's like, it's pivot time, but I'm scared?
Yeah. Bro, that's when you lean in. You lean all the way into that bad boy, bro. You gas it all the way, because you already said it. The provision, the resources, the people, it's all gonna follow you. Man. It's all gonna follow you, man. And my brother John Mike blew my mind this morning. He said, surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the rest of your days. He quoted that, but said it can't follow you if you ain't moving. I said,
I got goosebumps. How you messed me up? You messed me up,
bro. He got me with that one. Yeah, he's in there. I am Mike. He got me with that one this morning. I was like,
that's a ball.
Hey, dude. But yeah, so you just gotta go, man.
Yeah.
You
Look,
gotta.
I got a special request now that you said that. I need to hear what you do with that breakdown. All of the days of my life.
Bro, I'm saying.
I'm throwing that out into the universe. You know,
I'm saying, man, like, dude, that was the moment for me to pivot real fast
yeah.
and so from there it was like, all right, I was still trying to figure it out, honestly. Like, okay, what do we do now? And so, I was just making the typical beats, trap stuff, all that. And then I got fed up. And that's how you know when the spirit is working on you, is when you experience frustration or any type of crazy feeling that you feel abnormal. And that frustration comes from a passion from somewhere. That means something needs to be corrected or shifted. And so I got frustrated. I said, you know what? F it. I'm done. I'm done trying to sound like everybody. I'm done with the industry. I'm done with trying to appeal to artists. I'm done with trying to get placements. I literally want to make music that I love, that speaks to me first and speaks to everyone else. And it dwindled down to just a piano, a bass, and some drums, and that was it. And from there,
Hold on. You say that's it, like you don't make the music that you be making.
dude, that's
here. It ain't gonna sound like what you making. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna be amazing decoration up here. Like, oh, you play the? No, I don't play the bass. I just, what you do with those four essential instruments. A God-given gift when you hear it, because it doesn't sound like it's trying to be anything but an expression of the energy flowing out of you. And you do it in I never watched one of your videos and was like, he doesn't enjoy what he's doing. And there's a lot of producer videos I see where I don't think they recognize they got a stank face on. Like, I really don't want to be making content. I kind of don't like this beat, but I know I got to make content because I saw a video. And you have such joy and amazing energy in all of your videos. And it comes through in the coloring of your videos. It comes through in the speed in which the chops are going. It comes through in everything in so many ways that even if you're conscious of them or not, it wouldn't matter because it's all flowing from you and it's organic. So outside of point of view, I have to make sure that I shine a light on that for sure.
Likewise, man. I appreciate that. And likewise for yourself, man. Real recognizes real. Like, that quote is it's underrated. Like, you feel it. You can feel it through the camera, you can feel it through the screen. And it's that moment of like falling in love with music all over again and being able to express fully, like, no, this is exactly what I hear. I don't have to give you like, okay, here's a trap beat, it's going to get placed, for whoever. And I'll speak in a little bit. It's like, no, this is it. Like, this is exactly how I hear it.
You've become your own cosign.
Bro. So from doing this, from doing this mess, dude, who would have ever thought that it would be from music, that it would ever get to this level? But the same situation happened. The Earth, Wind, and Fire situation went so crazy to the point where Instagram itself responded to anyone that used that sound. They went viral to the point where everybody just started using the sound. There was a day where I was just like, boom, boom, that's Hunter. Boom, boom, that's Hunter. I'm like,
it's hidden. It's not just casually viral. It's everybody. It's not casually viral. This is one of those moments where it's like you almost get a little nervous. Like, like, okay, this is cool. This is what I wanted, but it's like, all right, hold on. I had a few of those with the voiceovers that use my audio pieces where I was like, all right, guy, I know you wouldn't put me in anything that I'm not ready for.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit uneasy about seeing my first million on Instagram and seeing not just the positive energy is great, right? You can't have the other. And with seeing some of that, the comments, and it's like, yo, like I'm still feeling like I'm building on this thing. I don't feel like I'm that person where I'm so out of touch that nothing bothers me. I was in a headspace where it was like, yo, this is
Yeah,
still connected. Something I love about what you said and something I hold really true to what I do. You have become your own cosign. You have become your best placement that you can get.
man.
You can get a placement right now, say it runs up numbers on Spotify, say they actually give you credit as a producer. Let's say that energy runs for 2 weeks. just being transparent. It runs for 2
Yeah,
weeks because we know how the label situations work. They have a campaign. They have somebody who sets this up to be on different platforms, interviews. It runs its run, and then people move on to the next thing, and they pick and choose what they want to add to their own playlist. You have a platform where every single day that you show up, you can do numbers that would be a typical placement, major label placement with a major artist for yourself. You're building a platform every day. So when you say what's next, you already have the what's next. The whatever you decide to put out into this ecosystem, because look at the platform you built, bro.
no, I feel the same way about this. I feel the same way about exactly what you're doing. I feel the same way. It's that moment of, you know what? I can really do this. Like, this can really happen. And that sounds so like shoot the ball and it goes in the hoop. But like, seriously, when you start betting on yourself, you start really believing in yourself, believe in God, obviously have faith, but like really be like, now I'm betting on me, bro. Like
Yeah.
I'm really about to go for it, dude. Like I feel like the earth stood still on the Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. The earth stood still on when Jazzy Jeff just shouted me out like 2 weeks ago. I was just like,
What?
you can't make this up. I'm in here in this studio,
Yeah.
Atlanta, minding my own business. So like, I don't have to, like you said, like, why would you lie about anything like that? Like, it's just God, and then the hard work, consistency, staying with it, man, showing up. You see what works, and then you keep mass producing. And I'm like, how can I get faster? How can I get better? And most importantly,
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
The people, like, they need these vibes because it brings peace, comfort, and what people don't realize is this stuff is anointed. I'm called to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So people are listening, they're experiencing the anointing, the presence of God, and that's a whole nother layer that I'll just stop right there.
Bro, no, you ain't got to stop there, because about this platform being one that's going to stop you if you get too into that conversation. But I always say, like, especially for my church going elders who ask, you know, how could you be in such an industry that is of the world, be in such an industry where you're supporting artists who are talking about things that are against your morals? And it's a question that I've had to tackle with myself. But what I can say is this: sometimes, even if we have good intent to deliver the word or be a reflection of God, it may not land the way that we intend it to land, because that's not what they have. That's not the experience. Like,
Exactly.
sometimes I feel like the experience is, can I feel what God's light feels like?
Exactly.
Can I what that love feels like? Like, why does this feel different when I rap over one of your beats? Why
Yeah.
do I why do I feel something? And I think that that's something that you don't have to necessarily testify in the moment to someone.
Exactly.
You got to be that. And I salute you, hats off, because I'm telling you that God energy, without even knowing your history in church, flows through you every time you pop up on that timeline. From the bright blues in the background to like the way the first 3 seconds work. Something else that you want to say, and I don't want to hold you too long. I appreciate you jumping in here and chopping it up. Something that really resonated with me is that when God has decided this is the time.
Yeah.
All those things that you used to have to struggle with, all those no's that you used to get, you're going to be surprised of all the people that you have helped along the way, or that you have done something for, who start to align themselves in positions to where it's just this smooth route that it was 10 years ago. And I feel like we're both experiencing that now.
Yeah.
I even look outside of our own industry. I look at somebody like a Mr. Beast,
Yeah.
who's one of the
Yeah.
biggest YouTubers in the world, right? I look at Mr. Beast and the fact that Google offered him $1 billion to buy his platform, and he said no.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If we're in that time now where someone can say no to $1 billion because they're thinking inside of their mind, if you're going to offer me $1 billion, what's my true evaluation?
My gosh, man.
So us as creatives, no matter what level we're at, no matter what kind of business we're doing, we're all in different ecosystems, different worlds. I just hope you recognize the time we're in, because it's going to come a time where you're deeper into your age and you look back and you're going to realize how golden of an era this is and how much opportunity it is. And I look to brothers like you who are prime examples of it, because you're shining every day and you're not taking it for granted. And I mean, look at all the folks that you're touching, bro. I'm just,
dude, I appreciate you, bro. I definitely will have to connect with you and figure out how to transfer this conversation to YouTube.
Yeah.
And,
no, I'll tell you this. I'll put it out there in the atmosphere. I got this series that I'm doing. Shout out to my bro, Pac.
Okay.
Kind of like produced by Pac. He's been helping me kind of like expand my brand and this new space of kind of reaching out of my out of my niche. And this DIY tribe that I'm building is something where I want to make content that highlights the story that you told before of where you're at that moment something just clicked. And I would love to bring you in for even if I got to fly out there to document it. We got to bro, I feel like when you're talking about God is leading you and it's time to just go and not question it. You're talking about not only are you in the space, but you feel like you're ready for what's coming. It's the most beautiful feeling in the world. And I want to make sure that I highlight individuals like yourself. You don't need it because you already are doing it on a daily basis, but I would love to tell your story through my lens, through the, through the narration. But your story is something I think a lot of people would be encouraged by who are honestly ready to give up.
Man, I'd greatly appreciate it. And this, again, I'm down, bro. I'm definitely down, dude. I'm excited for you in your content and I really resonate with your story, man. How it took you. You said how many years to get to 50? 8 years?
8 years to get to 50K. We did months. What?
Bruh.
Wait, hold on. By doing the same thing I was doing on YouTube 8 years ago.
Bro.
Perspiration.
Bro, I was stuck at 9. Nah, I was stuck at, what was it? Okay, so I know for sure, for a fact, I got on the gram in 2010-ish, because that's when it was just a photo. So I got on there, and it took me to from 2010 all the way up to 2020 to get to 10K. So whatever number that is. So, so it took that long, bro. And I was just like, I never saw this thing being what it is. I never saw Reels back then. I never knew that they were going to open up no clue. And so I remember when Reels first dropped, I was like, oh, they're trying to do like TikTok. They want people to dance. They want you to dance and do these funny memes. So I didn't think Reels me, man. And so it's crazy how time, one thing you said, bro, is that resonates with me, is how time works and how God uses time to align everything up to where when it sinks and you have that eclipse moment. Because I wasn't trying to do content at all. I was trying to be in LA, producing underground, just doing me, nice house, chilling, minding my own business. And God was like, what value does that add to the people, though? What value do the people get from that? My people. You win, but my people, they suffer. So I need you to suffer with me. I'm like, okay, fine. So in 20, what was that? So in 2021, that's when after the Earth, Wind, and Fire situation, it went from 10 to 30. And then this year, like this year has been the craziest, like top of 2022
Yeah.
into here, bro. Like here we are about to hit 100 bones. And I'm like, 100
What?
bands. Like,
What?
I never would have thought, bro. Like, trust me, I never.
You wouldn't have, but I seen what you do with those 4 instruments you got in there. I was like, you see it, bro. Like, and I think maybe that comes back to the other connection we talk about, that God light and recognize it in other people and being able to be like, yo, like this is anointed. Like you can tell what energy is driving this. I never got some people you can look and you can like, they're so possessed by the spirit of fame and the spirit of attention. They'll do anything in and out of character to retain that. You come on and you're like, it's like I walked in the room and I was like, yo, what you working on? That's what I'm on. Let me show you a few different angles. Like I never got the performance out of you. And I feel like that's something that connects a lot of people. One question I have for you, and I obviously don't want you to disclose anything that is like your secrets in this. But I'm making the pivot from not just doing voiceover work on Instagram, but I want to start doing with my music. Very similar to how you've been doing it in not the presentation, but just making sure that I can get the audio to touch people and help people in the ways that my voiceovers have. It's a pivot for a lot of people because you got to change that format. You got to be quick about those intros, right? You got to make sure you got transitions and all that. What is some advice that you can give to a producer like myself or someone else who is now basically micro content shifting?
I think for yourself, this is a given. So, but your authenticity will always literally transcend the phone, the DSLR camera, your authenticity. And like you said, getting to the point quick. Like I noticed, like I watch a lot of producers in my community and their stuff is fire, is killing. The only critique or thing to add is just get to that idea faster. Get to it faster, because I've done the whole intro thing and lead into it and tell people a story. Man, it's like a billion videos that's being uploaded at the same time as you. And so I'm like, so I had to figure it out. Like, how can what's my hook? And so, you know, man, I was in a ton of clubhouse rooms with Sean Cannell and a lot of the great, even Mr. Beast with his crazy self, success, his crazy self got on there and dropped gems and stuff. And one thing that stood out to me the most was a human being in the camera, like being in the frame, like a human. And so I was like, okay. And then I have to shout out 2 people, because I can't leave them out, that helped me a lot. Sides, Sabrina, that does all the Logic Pro tutorials. She's killing the game right now. She just way out there now.
Right.
and my boy Rob Late.
Okay.
Both of them, they have 2 different styles of content. You know, Sabrina does educational. Then Rob Late does edutainment. He does both. He educates you and entertains you at the same time. So I was studying them for a while, and I was like, all right. So I tried both of their strategies. Neither one of them worked. And then the moment that clicked for me was, that's Hunter, the tag. And so I was like, okay, so use it all. Use all of it. And so that was the moment, man. Like, I was like, I know what I have to do. I was talking to Rob, and Rob was like, well, man, you know, he's got the English accent. He's like, you know, man, when you're watching your content on your phone, are you watching YouTube from your phone, or are you watching YouTube on your computer? I was like, I'm mainly watching it on my TV and computer. He said, so then you have to shoot your videos, you know, either from your phone. And I was like, all right, man, I know what I got to do. So anyway, short, man, I figured it out. I was like, you're going to have to physically play every part, and you're going to have to physically actually do it, and you're going to have to edit it down in a way to it's entertainment.
Right.
So Rob Late's fast clips and doing this, add your pads, add this, do that, all in the text, and then he's showing you. And then Sabrina with the fast, literally like getting to the point super fast. Let me show you how to do a really cool trick in Logic Pro. You want to go to this and hit Command K. I'm like, mind blown, thanks. And so I basically like figured it out. I was like, okay, you're gonna have to use the entertainment value of, you know, Rob, and you're gonna have to use the fast clips from Sabrina. You're gonna have to figure it out. So my thing would be is to, you don't necessarily have to have a million angles, but if you're having a good time being authentic and you're getting to the point like super fast and the vibe starts right away, I highly doubt that you're going to run into any retention issues, because these people are looking for, they're looking for music for their reels. Like everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody's trying to find the right audio to put with their vibe, chasing houses, cooking videos. Everybody is searching for what's the next thing that the audio will help, you know, take my video to the next level.
Right.
So,
and I'll tell you, bro, I feel like the audio clips that have gone off have never been the ones that I was like, this is going to go off. It's always,
right?
Dang, I guess we had a slow day today. And then 2 days from there, and I'm like, who shared this or what did this? Like, in the midst of everything that Kyrie Irving's been going through, he shares one of my posts, and everything then goes wild with the media. And I'm like, you just don't know, especially because I think we've been kind of programmed to believe that our social media is different from everybody else's social media, like folks with influence or larger audiences. No, scrolling the same algorithms we're scrolling and seeing the same things. And I think that's sort of the TikTok effect, in that anybody has an opportunity. If you're willing to stay consistent, you're willing to be efficient in the areas that you said are important for retention, important for the edutainment. If you do your job, and if you don't know how to do your job, look at your For You page and your Explore page, because they're giving you a literal guide of how to make the content. They'll find your audience. I was on TikTok, bro, and I found an old guy. Every single video, you know what he does? He runs into the middle of the road and he flicks off the camera. Millions of views. You know why? Because in the caption he says, send this to somebody that's a friend of yours, or send this to somebody who needs to get this message. Millions of followers. All he does is runs into the middle of a dirt road, flicks the camera off, and keeps going. And so I'm always looking at these things that a massive amount of people attach to. And the one thing that I got from this is that people feel comfort in your consistency.
Yeah.
Degree, a level of predictability.
Yeah.
You're able to kind of pivot, like how you do with the collaborations. I'll see you get on and be like, it's Hunter. I'm like, all right, let me see what he got. Oh, hold on. You linked up with wait. So it's that very subtle switch. So let me ask you this, and this is just like I'm being, you know, I want to respect your time, bro. But for somebody like me that is not, I don't play keys. I click things in. I kind of fiddle around. I know some of the scales. What does that video look like in your opinion? Because if it's being inauthentic, it's me acting like I'm putting these kicks and snares together, knowing damn well I don't play out like that. I know a lot of people do that.
I would say even if it's literally being authentic in that, you know what I mean? Like it's walking in that. There's a guy I know, what's his name? Something tracks something. He does like a lot of funk stuff. He'll grab like Bay Area funk music, like funkadelic, and put like a crazy boom bap feel to it, or put like and so all he does is he takes a top-down shot and it just does Ken Burns. I'm really dropping Jim. So Ken Burns, he just does Ken Burns back and forth from the top down, and he's just in there banging his head. The people don't know if he made it or not, but it sounds so good. And his, like you said, like, you know, his energy feels so authentic. And then I actually know who he knows. So they're like, no, he's legit. Like he's cold. And so, but yeah, like it's just finding like different creative ways to, you know, because like you got the formula already in terms of content searching. and seeing what's in the niche and seeing what other people are doing, what's trending, and then you can take a little bit of this and this and this and be like, aha. But I think now we have so many trending producers, I think you'll be able to find it faster. And Ruslan was talking about this on YouTube.
Oh, Ruslan.
Yeah, he was talking about this on YouTube. He said the gap of figuring out the formula has shortened. So for you, 8 years, for me, 10 years plus. But for us doing it and figuring it out, it's going to help the next person figure it out in 5 months.
Bro, we shout out to him, because he and I have had many conversations about this. He's put these things into fruition. The way he's blown his channel up is just amazing. I walked in to one of his live streams and it was 700 people in there as he was linking up single Christians for a single Christian date night. He got jazz music in the background. I said, what's going on? And I hit him up, but I'm like, that's the era we're living in, where this is not the time to be fearful. When you have a smaller audience, you actually have an advantage over someone who already has an established audience expecting a certain type of content.
Correct.
Smaller, you don't have to worry about what content you're doing because you're a smaller content creator and nobody knows what's going on here.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Advantage of the fact that if you go this direction or that direction, you're not going to piss nobody off because there's not enough people there that know what you do. Yeah, so I'm at a place now where I think that's why it's been such a challenge for me. And you gave a lot of gems. It's been a challenge for me, bro, because it's like I've been known as the producer, motivator, and it's like kind of just been the box.
Yeah.
And the only way to break out of that box is to change something.
Yep.
What that is on a day-to-day basis will shift in itself, but change has to be the new default. And evolution has to be a part of it. But man, I took so much of your time. I'm sure you got things you got to do. I'm on my last day before vacation, and I can't wait to take my month off. But it's a blessing to cap it off by having a conversation with you, bro.
Hey man, likewise, man. Something came to mind. Dang it, I hope I didn't lose it. The train was like, phew. But I was getting ready to say something because you literally made it click. Golly, it's something along the lines of the content.
So I was talking about how finding that one thing to do can be to your advantage. We were talking about Ruslan. We're talking about
Okay.
Oh
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. The dope part about doing content now is if you shift, you can re-optimize your profile, which is I've done it in real time.
Expand on that for those who don't understand what it means to re-optimize.
So when you optimize your profile, you're basically telling Instagram or YouTube, whatever it is, hi, my name is Curtis King and I do this and this is my niche and I'm going to repeatedly upload the same thing of this. So you can literally re-optimize it, bro. I mean, it might take, who knows, depending on the IG algorithm. But the dope part about re-optimizing is it's a whole new audience that's going to come in and they're going to know you for that thing. And they won't even know, like, what you've done previously. Like some people don't even know that I did Earth, Wind, and Fire. They know me for something else.
Right.
They know me for something else. Oh, you did that. It's like, that's the whole point. But that's what I was going to say was, thank you, Holy Spirit. What I was going to say was the best advice that I ever got, or the best gem that the Spirit ever gave me, was do every single video like it's your first time, like it's the first one. Like this is the first time everybody is going to see you. It's the first video every time. And if you approach that, yeah, bro.
Yeah. Look. We you already know what's getting ready to happen next. I'm gonna plant this seed and put it out there in the universe. And I'm sure that if it's in God's plans, it'll be in God's plans. But I feel like us just having this conversation about how to expand and grow your business through the use of audio is a very broad topic that a lot of people, and not just our tribe of fellow musicians and artists, can relate to. There may be a course, a collaborative course. I've done it before with the homie Larry O, and it was a advanced FL Studio course. But this idea of growing your platform through the use of audio is something that I think that we have gems one another, and we could create that for something I think a lot of people in here would be very grateful for. But I'm just gonna put that out there. I know you got a lot of going on.
It's you right in alignment. You right in alignment. Dude, there's no one thing I learned from Sean Cannell is you can literally put out the same content 100 times and it'll still hit 100 different ways, even though on all 100 videos he said the same thing. And so like that's definitely in the works for me. Like once we hit 100 bands, like I'm getting ready to start filming my course and teaching, really, I think I'll probably focus specifically on Instagram and TikTok, like how to really get that format. But the next course that I definitely want to do is just more of a broad, like you're talking about, like business, like how to build a business from producing audio. And that I think is going to change it's just going to mess everything up in such a good way, like especially for producers, because somebody might not take my word for it, but they'll take your word for it, and vice versa for you. Like they may not take your word for it, but they'll take mine. So I've seen the power of collaboration up close. Like my boy John Mike, like I've seen it.
I'm saying, and with, like you said, you hit it right on the head, bro, is when you're able, and it's the same thing that Dorian and I have been discussing as well. When somebody has a certain mode of the way that they learn things, maybe they're super visual, maybe somebody's super auditory, you're going to talk to certain things that are like, Curtis, why couldn't you just say it like that? Or likewise, it'll be expressed in a way that's like, okay, well, I see where Curtis is coming from, but we're both saying the same things in those situations. I just want to plant that seed, man. No matter what, though, I'm wishing you nothing but continued blessings. What you're doing is inspiring a lot of people, including myself. That energy that comes through you, bro, is undeniable what the source is. And we are just going to be here continuing to celebrate you and build with you, bro.
Likewise, my man. Same sentiments, bro. Proud of you, man. Your story, the transition. I really love the latest. I think the second from the latest one talking about I'm built different. Oh my! Has that gone viral yet? Like I hope it has.
Like what I've learned about it, and this is for anybody who's tired of us talking about God too bad. This is where these moments where I'm like, all right, God, I know that's my impatience. Because I'll put out something like that and I'll be like, God. Like, look, I know you the source. I know you, but like this got to be the one, right? And then God is like, you focus on the wrong things. And I got to refocus myself, humble myself, and then recognize that the energy that creates these moments of audio is not an energy that is thriving off of numbers. It's not an energy that's thriving off of that, right? It's thriving off of a genuine nature to, first of all, say the words that help me. People think that I'll be creating these audios trying to tell somebody how to live their life. No, these are the exact words I had to tell myself.
Yeah.
Keep going so that I would not give up on what I was doing. I just had the audacity to now turn the camera around and say the same words that I said to myself to anybody that was willing to watch and listen. And it worked.
Bro. I got a good feeling about that one, man. I just got a good feeling about it, bro. I really do. Because that one is just sometimes, snap, man. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Yeah. Bro, God dealt with me about time. Like,
yeah.
He really blew my mind. Like I'm talking about, like I had to go to therapy for this stuff, like legit. Like I had to go get help, and I'm like, yo, like I know what I do is have value. It has to, and it's, guys, like it's not time yet. It's you're ahead of your time. I said, hold on, what? What you were doing back then was 10 years ahead. Reels wasn't out yet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Instagram wasn't optimized for that algorithm yet.
at all.
Lo-fi wasn't trending yet.
At all. Bro, somebody had to remind me. I was creating Vine videos on MySpace.
Yes.
Loop
Yes.
gifs, images, and all of this. I had a series called Death by Food where it was like my friends, we young and goofy. We'd basically take a piece of food, eat it with Alicia Keys, I've been falling in, and we would just fall out on the floor. Right. And it was just this thing that we kept. It's called Death by Food series. And like even on MySpace, it started to kind of go viral, but nowhere near what it would have been during the TikTok age or during the Vine.
Bruh,
Just not your time.
it,
And it's too. Here's the thing too, and I feel like this message had to be delivered through a Tony Robbins to me at the time. But life is always happening for you and not to you. So when I think, brother, when I think about being 10 years, like, am I 10 years too late? No, 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 no. If it would have happened then, I would not have been as prepared for it. I would not have delivered the way that I did. Not even just deliver, confidently follow through on it.
yeah, yeah.
The way that the 37-year-old version of me can and knows I will and has the confidence to do this. So, no,
Yeah.
I'm not late. You're not late. This had to happen in the year that it happened. The pandemic had to happen because look at how it changed the way we think about everything. Life is happening for you and not to you.
Bruh, that's what I felt about that reel. I said it's ahead of its time. That literally came to my mind as I was saying it. As I was talking, that's the first thing that came to my mind. And then it drew me back to that time, bro. Like I was just talking to my wife about that last night. I said it's funny how time works. Like there's a time for everything. And so now it's the time of the creator. It's time for this. But that video, I just got a good feeling about that video. I'm so glad that you're intellectual enough. You're intellectual enough about the platform itself, and you understand. Yeah. We know that Instagram is trying to low key have a YouTube effect. Where these videos are starting to go off a little longer than what they used to. Usually, you have your time. Yo, shout out to my cousin Reagan. She just popped in here. She wants to do content full time. You in the right space, cuz. Good to see you. And so now Instagram rolls out your videos longer.
Yes.
Like YouTube. So that joint has an opportunity to literally go off, bro. Because the window cap, sometimes with Instagram, it'll be like, okay, well, you got this video. Let's show that out to people. All right. Oh, you got new joints. All right, it was typically like, you got new videos. Let's keep them rolling. We'll show the new videos. All right, on to new things. Now they're like, let's get this one. Here we go. Serve it to the right person at the right time on the Explore page, and they get value from what you're doing.
Yep.
In this case, it happened to be Kyrie Irving. Got value from the joint. You know, it's so, but I feel that way about this video, man. Like I speak that too about Build Different, because it's like people will relate to that. And you're right. You don't know which video is gonna smack. You just you kind of know, but you don't know. And so there are certain things where, like, I know if I collab with the Pocket Queen and we do something, I know it's gonna go off because of who she is and who we together. We know. We know. But our videos where it's just us solo bolo, it's harder to be able to be like, all right, this one is gonna hit.
Right.
Like, it's hard. Sometimes you just have to live, like you said, you have to keep that same posture of delivering value and showing up consistently. And that video just hit me so crazy because it was like, it was everything that I talked about in my latest YouTube video on how to grow fast on Instagram. And I said, you have to, one, you got to have a hook. Two, you got to have the contents, but the contents to keep people on. So whatever you said you're going to do or whatever that video is supposed to be about, you deliver. But then out of the blue, you over deliver in the next few seconds of the video to add that extra layer of value So
Yes.
you almost outdo yourself, and then you have your random closing where people didn't even know it ended, and then you back at the top again. And that video literally embodied that. I was like,
Yeah.
good. Oh yeah. Yo, this is so good.
No, look,
Yo.
look. I'll tell you this. You made 2 points, and it's inspired these thoughts right here. With a post like that, if you ever want to, like, for anybody listening, he just gave such a gem. I want to make sure folks caught that. If you ever want to know, what social media wants from you, or if you ever want to know how it works with your content, just sit back and pay attention to what's being suggested to you. I even studied the amount of seconds that each reel was on average that was being suggested to me. And then I realized 60-second videos in a short form environment where 15-second videos were the average, 12 seconds of the average. That pivot, biggest jump in what I have going on. Here's something else. If you want to recognize what these social medias want from you, don't ask about the content. Ask about who's their competition and where they're currently at in that conflict. If you know YouTube is saying, we got to take these TikTok boys out, it's probably time to take advantage of this window of time before people go in masses leaving TikTok or wherever to go to YouTube to go for the reels. I got 3 reels posted ready to go on vacation in December every single day until the 31st day. And in February, I'm doing the same thing because I need to get to that 10 million threshold so that I can become a partner. If that happens, when it happens, excuse me, switching from 90% long form to 90% short form and 10% long form, because I just love spending like that cinematic time writing a script out, editing for 20 hours. I enjoy that kind of work. I just don't enjoy having to do it every single week. So you said something that for me is really a confirmation that as you're in this space, just pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on, but then also too, don't be too strategic.
Bruh.
That's something I do. You get so strategic that you trick yourself out of the very thing that people like about you.
That part. Yeah, I had that season. Bro.
What it look?
Dude, that for me, it looked like, all right, I need to be on drums because this gets more engagement. So I need to physically play more. And at the time, it kind of did. Not gonna hold you. But again, it was time, and then the simplicity of it all. And even on the music side, like it's all in tandem. Oh, this is so crazy. In tandem. It's literally both the audio and the visual work the same way for me. Yeah. So I see hundreds of producer videos, and I'm not knocking anybody from doing picture in picture at all. You do picture in picture, great. If it works, keep doing it. For me, it don't. So I was just like, let me focus on one thing at a time in a video, and then I can move faster. Just focus on one thing. So instead of having like 6 me's, I always have one person in the shot at all times. I do not do picture in picture because people can only focus on so much at one time. And so same thing musically. I stripped down all of the crazy stuff and stripped it down to 4 instruments because people can only concentrate on those many instruments at the same time. So my production started getting simpler and simpler and simpler until the point where I'm just like, hey, yo, let me hit up my homegirl Anna, let's collab and structure a vibe around her where you can actually hear the bass. You don't have to fight to hear the bass because there's only 2 other instruments in the arrangement. So
see, can I pause for a second and just like, so God, you waited till my last day on social media to connect me with this conversation that is going to likely change the trajectory of my next year because of the confirming right now. On the last day, I was almost not gonna go live today. I was like, I got a lot of things that need to be done. I'm about to go live on YouTube in a second and talk about this topic about something completely different, but there's a reason why I'm here today, and there's a reason why you put the request in, and I'm glad that we both listened to that because
Oh yeah,
bro, it's confirmation for me, and I know it's a lot of people in here. Shout out to everybody that's come in here or that is in here now. That it's time. I feel like the pandemic, once again, as much as it affected a lot of us in a negative way, as much as some of us may have lost loved ones,
yeah,
nothing is always purely one way. There's always a other side of things, right? The pandemic caused a lot of us who were just working jobs, going the regiment, and we were going to do this going for the next 70 years of our lives.
Yep.
Pass away, and then our legacy was going to be the going.
Yep. You're right.
The world stopped for a second and caused us to you couldn't even go outside to do the essentials. Life said, no, I need you, human being, to sit there and be and really figure out what you want to do. And what do we see? We saw massive amounts of people who quit their job and said, I don't think this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. Not that it's bad to have a job, but
Exactly.
they got the vision. I feel like they were listening to God, even if they don't interpret that. They were able to hear him because their minds are sober and not drowned out by social media, drowned out by the demands of work, drowned out by just the daily static that comes into our brains. You just said it right now. This pivot in social media made you strip your production down so that people could absorb your music and not be overwhelmed. You know why that's such a gem for me? Because I overproduce. And it's asking me not to dumb down what I'm doing.
Exactly.
It's asking me to, first of all, get to the point, which is important. Talk a lot. And two, it's asking me to create something that is not overcompensating. Just say it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's best gems I got all year.
Dude, wow. And same, bro. Like, what was it? It was that video. It was 2 more videos that you did. I'll be on that all day. I'll be on your videos because I understand content.
Music producer. Something I talk about pretty frequently is the necessity of having multiple streams of revenue as an independent music producer. Not only for when you're actually producing, but what about those days after you stop producing? That being said, one stream of revenue that I think gets often overlooked is music distribution, aka streaming. Getting your music on Apple Music, getting your music on Spotify, etc., etc. Now, the number one spot that I go to make sure that I distribute my music properly and ensure that I get my music to every store possible is DistroKid at DistroKid.com. For $19.99 per year, I can upload an unlimited amount of music throughout the year. If you'd like to sign up to DistroKid today and get your music to every major distributor, go to distrokid.com/VIP/Curtis King to get 7% off.
Once you like get baptized into this content thing and you understand like the basic essentials and then how it's executed, like there's so many gems in like videos that go viral, and it's not everything isn't happenstance. Like we said earlier, you can't pinpoint exactly what video is going to go off the way it does.
Yeah,
but you can learn and observe. And I'm telling you, like this I talk for my followers, I talk about this stuff all the time. You have to niche down and know who you are. Like, you forget niche down. You just got to know who you are. You have to know who you are, whose you are, and you come to that moment of clarity. Then once you have that moment of clarity, then you can attack content and apply that same clarity. A lot of content doesn't do well is because they're not even clear about themselves. So content is not going to be clear. So I can tell how clear you are, how clear-headed you are in this game to be able to demolish it, man, and double it in half the time, bro. Like that. There's something about that clarity, man.
I'll tell you about where I get that clarity from. And I felt like I had a pandemic before the pandemic happened, a year before it did. I got to a place where I looked at where I was at in my career, even in my independent career, saw that I dependent upon the industry. And I got to a place where it was like, I'm sitting in my living room in a house that not even the years before, you talked about being in the apartment with your wife and your little one. It was the same situation where I'm like, all right, we have a family, 700 square foot apartment. I always joke you can touch the toilet and the fridge at the same time, right? I always talk about that.
Dog, bro.
I love telling that, and I got a homie that's like, man, you got to stop telling that story. But I'm like, it's such a testimony because my wife and I would literally be in a living room, and I'd be like, close your eyes, and she'd be like, why? I'd be like, close your eyes, and I'd be like, in a 700 square foot apartment, I'd be like, hey, honey, could you bring my charger from downstairs because I left my phone down? Could you bring? And she would say, where's it at? I say, it's behind the kitchen table. It's past the cathedral ceiling, and we would just talk this. And we did this, and now we're living in it. Now, here's the flip side of it that people don't talk about. What happens when you get to your goals and you realize this is it? And you don't have anything else to reach afterwards because now you finally achieved it. But you didn't set anything afterwards. I sat in this house, bro, and felt like I was in my own prison. Not that I wasn't grateful, but I felt like,
yep, talk, bro.
Just for some walls and some high ceilings, and like, was this it? Like, I got my essentials, I'm good. And that is when I had to really, really dig deep. Another level that I feel like not even family members or even friends who have not gotten to that place, they couldn't give me advice on that. I had to be the one that searched to God for those answers, and I had to live through it because that's the only way it's going to stay embedded in my brain. And so, bro, I went through it, and it was the 1st December that I shut off social media for the whole month. I got deleted it. I was barely on my phone. It was the first month that all I did was read. All I did was take walks in the morning. All I did was just really listen to what's trying to be told to me, like listening for that voice of God. Yeah. And I kid you not, the next year when the pandemic happened and people were panicking, I was like, I know what this is. It's just happening on a global level.
Yep.
Advantage of this gift. So now I look at it like this, man. Like the viral moments that's great.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
The cons. The moments where I go 2 steps back, that's fine. That's life. It's such a stoic place that I'm in now. I read a book called Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. All his books I love. But that one in particular, because it got me to a place where I never get too high on the high or too low on the lows. I recognize this is all a part of the program. And if I truly believe, and I am willing to die on this mountain.
Yeah.
Life happening for you and not to you. You reap what you sow. These are things that I like, you know what? I will defend that to the end.
Yeah.
By that, I feel like has helped me in all aspects of what I do. I don't worry about anything going viral. When it does, it's kind of like, that's cool, but I got 15 more I got to make before next week if I'm going to stay consistent. What good is going viral if I have nothing else to follow it up on? Some people are waiting for that one hit, bro. You know it. People are waiting for that one thing to go off, and then they get it, and it's the worst thing that could have happened to them because they're not ready for it. Yeah, we gotta talk, bro. We gotta talk, man. We gotta talk, bro. Look at God. Look at God. Come on, man.
Bro.
It's too easy with me and you, bro.
I can tell you from doggone experience, you have to see it. My grandma, God bless her soul, she passed like 2 weeks ago, and I'm gonna see her off in a week. Bro, thank you, man. She dropped some serious stuff. She used to say when I was a kid, she said, you have to be able to see it before you see it. You have to. If you don't see it before you see it, you're not going nowhere. You have to see it first. And so I was like, yo, you spoke a producer mindset into me as a kid. Because I have to be able to hear the song complete before I even start it. I can't go off weird stuff. Like, I have to hear it. Like, so send me stuff. All right, cool. What does the song want to be? Oh, I got you. I know exactly where to go. And everything falls into alignment. And same thing, God had to take me out of that and said, now I need you to apply principles to your life. So get reaping what you sow. And so it got to the point where my wife, we struggled to try to get a house for, man, we've been married since 2015. We just struggled to get a house. And it all makes sense now, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
And so we got into our apartment in 2015, and then we were trying to move out. And so all of our friends, all of our homies getting houses left and right. We like, God bless you, we here, and stuff like that. And we actually had an opportunity. I was obedient. I resigned from playing in church because God said, I need to call you out into the world. You've been stuck in the four walls. That's a whole nother rant.
Ooh,
so
that's a whole that one, man. That's some people that's scared of that one right there. Because they're like,
bro, I need you to actually operate. Like, I need you to actually do the thing. Like, the world, I need you to actually do it. Woo. And so once I came out, I was like, great, here we go. We about to transition. We had the opportunity to get a spot. And God literally took the rug and said, nope, whoa, whoa, whoa. And we fell on our butt. And we was just like, so we back here. He said, I need you to trust me with a 2-bedroom apartment. I said,
wow.
Nah, man, like, you tripping. Let's go ahead and get the house, man.
Yeah,
you tripping. You tripping. And so it's funny how, man, how people transitioning will bring clarity. So one of my closest brothers, in a short span of time, he passed, and he was a faith guy, like extremely heavy on faith. And we would talk about faith, like talking about like our favorite, I don't know, MIDI controller. That's how we talked about faith. And so when he passed, God was like, let's revisit this conversation now. Your man is with me now. And he believed in faith. So can you trust me to move into a 2-bedroom apartment? I said, babe, we need to look for a 2-bedroom apartment. We need to look.
Yeah.
He said, all right, bro, we got approved for a 2-bedroom apartment in like 2 weeks. We got approved right away, right?
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Then Earth, Wind, and Fire happened. Then stuff started popping off. Then I went viral, right? And so God dropped the seed. He said, go on Zillow and look how much houses cost in Atlanta. Just go on Zillow. Just look. Just go look. I said, all right. Because he's like, bro, he said, because you out of the church scene now, so you ain't tied down. Yeah. You got a steady income. I blessed you with a business mindset. I connected you with people to teach you business. So now you got money. So let's see what you do. I looked up houses out here, man. I said, nah. I said, yo, you trying to move to Atlanta, babe? And she was like, I always wanted to be there before we even got married. I wanted to be in Atlanta. I never wanted to move back to California. Bro, dude.
When it's time, like, and you and I know the struggles that are associated with the industry grind and how many moves, and we're told on a regular basis, this is a part of the process, just keep on going. But it doesn't feel like, it's part of someone's process, but it doesn't feel like it's part of our process, because God works when we're in the right place.
Bruh.
And we know how it doesn't, right? There's been so many times where, even through collaboration, I've worked with certain names that are huge within our field, and I was trying to figure out, like, God, every time we go live, technical difficulties that have never happened start happening. And it's not because there's anything wrong with them. It's because that's not the way God wanted me to go get it. Because now, when I think about who I'm talking to on a regular basis, what I have been filled with so much fire. I shouldn't say fire, because fire can be distinguished, with so much water flowing out, so much energy, that I'm able to speak to independence. Why am I so passionate about it? Because I know what it feels like to go through that other ecosystem and to feel like if I don't make it here, I'm not going to be worth anything. I know what it feels like, but I also know the lie that exists within that, and the truth that is here if you actually invest the time and try some things like you did. Like, you walked in faith. You walked in faith and you did these things, and it's like, there's nothing that is promised, and people are looking for a promise. Dog, that's not how life is going to work. If it was all easy to do, everybody would be doing it. But that is the thing. We need to go into places where we're fearful. I get excited now when I get fearful.
Yeah.
Because I know fear is not of God, but I know that when I shouldn't say fearful, when I get like nervous, I'm like, Am I nervous because I feel like I'm not ready, or am I nervous because I know something is getting ready to be a dramatic shift? I embrace that. And I walk in faith and know that even if I don't have the answers in the moment, they will be provided.
Oh, bro, listen. I, I was talking to somebody asked about the rest of the testimony. Yeah, we did move. We moved to
I'm sorry. I didn't,
it's good. We did.
My apologies. My apologies.
No, you good. You good, bro, because it'd be good like that. I get it. Trust me. But now we were able to transition out here to Atlanta when we got a spot we're renting right now. This is our first year. We just got here in May. And so, dude, the house that we're in right now is a 4-bed, 2-bath with a finished basement, which is this whole studio. All of this, a finished basement, bro. And so, dude, this house was on the market since January. Nobody checked, but so God literally reserved this house just for us, bro, out here. Like, I'm still mind blown. I had days where I walk through the house. I'm like, babe, remember we was just in a 2-bedroom like last night. Like, we was just in a 2-bedroom. Now we got more. She got her own content room now. Like, it's legit. Like,
it's scary. It's getting scary, bro. It's getting scary. I'm talking to my twin on the other side of the coast. My wife, literally, the next room over is her content creation room for her nail business. And people are saying, like, why do you and your wife and your son need 5 bedrooms? I said, we have a guest room for our guests to sleep in. We have our master bedroom. We have a room to work out in. We have content creation room in my studio.
Come on, man.
And I know that may sound excessive, especially in this place. And I'm not saying in a braggadocious way, but I say it in an opportunity way, in that God, there were so many houses we went to that were just huge and beautiful. But I was like, I looked at my wife, she looked at me, and we were like, this is nice, but it's not ours. And
bro,
what you said earlier, something about when you listen, you stay obedient, and you stay the course, and then you look up and it's like, that house wasn't sitting since January. The paint was drying and preparing itself for us to go in there. That's why when people get jealous of other people's blessings, I feel like people's blessings are a safe that has a very specific number of how to unlock it. And the only person that can is you. So you have nothing to lose that somebody can take away. They don't have anything that's yours. I feel 1,000% that way now. And I appreciate the confirmation, because I just what it is, bro, is that you look and you're like, somebody else in the very same situation would have messed this up entirely.
Dude.
Bro, forget that. Me 2 years ago would have messed this up.
Bro. Dude. All the time I said it had to be now. Because I would find every opportunity to recall my receipts. I would have found it. How you doing today, man? Oh yeah, bro. Did you know? That would have been me, bro. Because I had so much to prove back home in the Bay Area, bro. I had so much to prove, dude. Like, so now,
bro. Look, but like, look at you. Like, I want to make sure that I respect and send my condolences to you and the family.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
And even the friend. But I look at this and I'm like, so many people, when things like this happens, they have a decision about how they allow it to affect them, about what it means for their lives. Some people will lose someone that close and become cold.
Yeah.
Hard, skin becomes hardened.
Yeah.
You redirect and continue to give. And I would have not known had you not even mentioned that, because of the way that your energy is. And I feel like God looks out for folks like you, right? And I feel the same way about myself, in that times get hard. I look at it more as a test of, am I going to allow them to change me out of character?
Dude, it's an open book test, bro.
Open book test. Ooh, what you mean? What you mean? Break that one down.
Bro, everything that we face has already been written. It's an open book test. There's, like you said, nothing catches God by surprise. Everything is predestined. And so what really started to shift for me, honestly, was way back in 2018 when I started praying, God, literally give me the passion and the desire to do what you've already predestined for me to do. Just give me the download to actually walk into this thing, change my. So I've been reading on audio this plan, and it's talking about basically the battle of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing about it is reframe. Is reframe everything. Everything. You have to reframe it. You have to reposition it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a movie where, in short, there's a disaster that happens, and then they start with the disaster, and then throughout the movie they give you clues. But what they do is they show you a different angle. Same disaster, but maybe another couple that was involved in that disaster. Maybe a businessman that was, but reframing. And so God literally finally got a hold of my mind. And that's why the word says literally serve God with all your mind, all your heart, because then he can take control of this thing and show you stuff. And so it was like, no, you have to reframe it. It said, instead of taking the approach of woe is me, my grandmom died, why don't you continue to allow her to live through her principles through you? You live what she told you to do. She's never dead. I'm a living product of everything my grandmom spoke.
Yes.
Now, I'm embodying what she would have wanted. So instead of taking that approach, I was like, no, it's a celebration. It's time to celebrate. It's time to, I'm going to miss her. I'm going to have my emotional moments. I'm going to break down. Absolutely. For sure. But the principles that she left behind will live and transcend through me, my wife, my daughter, and my kids' kids, because she knew how to see stuff before she could see it. It was God that literally put the brakes on her, because she wanted to get into flipping investment properties way ahead of her time. Then she did well for herself, but she would have been a multi-billionaire because she saw stuff, and God was like, no, I feel you.
Yeah.
But your great granddaughter has to be born.
Brother, people are not, so many people are not ready for that because they, I think, especially in our culture of celebrity obsession, and they look at people like, how could you be in this position and go through the things that you're going through? Like, you've been given everything. How are you complaining and you're rich? I remember a study that was done, and I always talk about this study in Stanford, and they basically they measured happiness in human beings at different levels of finance. And their results show that, they study people who are like at $10,000 a year, $20,000, $50,000, $75,000, like $100,000 and up. They noticed in the stats, you can look it up on Google, the happiest that money will ever make you is when you transition from $20,000 a year to $50,000. It's not to say that there are not things that you can buy beyond the $50,000 threshold, but your bare essentials of what keeps you so anxious about finance and where your next meal is going to come from, how to spend your next paycheck. When that is relieved, that is pretty much the ceiling of what money can do for you, because at that point, you're going to buy things. Think about people who, I think Dave Chappelle talked about this. There was a clip I saw on a YouTube short. He was like, somebody he was talking to was saying that when you realize that half of the population in this world lives off of $1, but half of them, or most of the world lives off $1, but half of them are supremely happy. He said, you realize that every billionaire that I've met, I know 20 billionaires, and none of them are happy. When you can fathom the idea of a billionaire waking up in a home that feels like a literal prison because they don't see the people that they used to see coming up because they don't live that lifestyle. They're working jobs when they're available on a Tuesday afternoon. When you realize that them driving their vehicle around makes them a literal target, especially now when people are hungry. That car that looks like such a blessing now looks like you're putting a a target on them.
Exactly.
When you recognize that some of these billionaires, just because they're billionaires does not mean that they have changed their personality or their character flaws. There are some, I remember Ty Lopez said he worked for a billionaire who woke up and Ty would say, it's a great day today. He'd open the windows up and he'd be like, it'd be better if I was higher on the Forbes list.
Bruh.
If that exists, money will not take that away. We have to, at the place that we're at, and you spoke it so masterfully, but we have to, at the moment that we're at, no matter what storm we're going through, decide and sit confidently, 10 toes on that. This is who I'm going to be, and this is what I am going to work on. And when new variables come, this is a test if I'm going to continue to grow within this. But I already established this from the very beginning. I don't want to do business that involves not being truthful. I don't want to do business that compromises my character. I don't want to do business in which I have to do people dirty. And if that means that I never become a millionaire, billionaire, then that's the way it was supposed to be.
1,000%, bro. Like that. Geez, I remember applying. This is the last one. I promise it's the last one.
No, you good, bro.
I remember applying for Apple, Target, Starbucks, Best Buy, all of them.
Yeah.
And I got denied at every single joint.
Mm-hmm.
And one employee asked me, because I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about working here at Best Buy. I said, yeah, I'm thinking about working here. They said, oh, fill out the app, do this, whoop, whoop, whoop. And so I was like, yeah. Ran into the lady again. She said, hey, how'd it go? I said, I got denied. They said, what happened? I said, well, I sent in my app. She said, hold up. She said, what do you do? I said, well, I got a B of A in music production and engineering. They said, wait, you got a BA? I said, yeah. And I specialize in tech. You know, I use Macs and all that all the time. I love tech.
Mm-hmm.
She said, oh, no, I can tell you why they turned you down at this location. This blew my mind, bro. The one person cared enough. She said you were overqualified in your niche. She said they would have had to have paid you way more than that job that you applied for. So they took the easy road out and hit deny.
I just got to let that one sit for a second.
I said,
our brain doesn't go there, but continue. I'm sorry.
Nah, I was just like, and God was like, phase one.
Mm-hmm.
Phase one. Like, I didn't get the full, we never get the full download. We get it in part. That was
right.
Phase two of that crazy moment was when I sold my first product in 2020-ish. 2020. Something like that. I was on Squarespace at the time, and Holy Spirit gave me the download. I was literally doing the tutorial, teaching people.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. I was teaching. It was how to mix live drums in Logic Pro X.
Okay.
I finished the video, and I had everything I did still up using stock plugins.
Right.
Everything was still up. Holy Spirit said, "Save it and sell it." I said, oh, we going into products. We're not just doing video.
No, this ain't no.
You know, I was just counting on AdSense at that time.
Yeah.
And so he's like, no, I'm gonna show you the way, and I'm gonna connect you with people who can help you along the way, bro. Here's what happened right afterwards. This will blow your mind. I didn't design my first website. I hired somebody to do it. I paid them $2,500 to get my first website up and running. Mm-hmm. I contacted that person and I was like, yo, I'm ready to sell products. Can you add the expansion to the site? We had a meeting set up for a Monday. I showed up. They did not. I called. I texted. I did everything. I said, I emailed. Where you at? Like, I got my product ready. Booty woo. Nothing. Holy Spirit said, go on YouTube and learn how to do it yourself. I said, nah, that's said, go on YouTube, learn how to do it yourself.
Come on now.
To learn how to add products extension to Squarespace, I made my first $1,200 that month off a product. That was phase 2. God blew my mind and said, now I'm showing you the way of how to build. Your issue and your confidence was money, so I'm gonna solve that issue for you because you got a deeper rooted issue. It's not money. So we'll just remove that out.
There's something deeper than that. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's remove that out the way for you. Now you know how to make money. Now I'm gonna show you how to steward this thing. And so, dude, every upgrade, there's always a parallel, something crazy happen right alongside of it. And so from that, I was like, okay, cool. And I got comfortable, fooled around and made 6 figures in 2021. I was like, I'm good. And God is like,
you made one decision. You made one to look into it yourself. Like, look, let me be transparent. I didn't understand being in church. I didn't understand the concept of grace until my.
Come on, bro.
Right? I didn't understand it. I knew it was a word that was associated with the Bible. I heard the pastor say it. I heard my mom say. I didn't understand the concept of it until I realized how much grace I've been given to even have the opportunity that 95% of the population. Like, I just think about this, brother. I've been talking to you over the last hour and a half, right? Not playing. You decided, you know what? Let me send a request. My mind and the conversations I've been having with God has been, I need to organize my business so that I cannot go through a period that I went through last year where I almost lost my business.
Yeah.
So speak this out. Then God says, I'm going to have Dorian align with you. Group 82. He doesn't just send some guy. You know what I'm saying? He sends the best.
Yeah.
I speak it to God. I say, you know what, God? I feel like although I'm getting into the space of motivation and inspiration and more broad content, it's actually time for me to step up my musicianship, my music, and create content that serves and helps people in the way of that serves God first, but it helps people in a way to soothe them in the same way that words does, but through music. How do I do that in a social media space?
Yeah.
I don't just talk to a guy.
Oh God, bro.
God sent me just a guy that, hey, I can give you some tips. He sends the best.
Bro, man. And
so Grace, I'm not owed this conversation with you, no matter how much I've accomplished. And that's why Dorian hated when I say how much I appreciate, you know, the gestures and the things that we do for one another, as especially as Black content creators, as independently owned businesses. But I really mean that because I truly understand how grace works and how I could be 1 or 2 decisions, little micro decisions, from changing this whole thing and not being able to even speak to you in this way because my life is in a completely different direction. That grace alone has allowed me to shut my mouth as people have slandered my name and said all kind of crazy stuff. Said, have I ever missed? Don't worry about that. Matter of fact, the test for me, for you, don't worry about that. The test for me is not for you to show how much vengeance you have. Vengeance is not yours. The test is for you to be obedient and show me that you can do that. And I will make sure that if you do that and you stay focusing on your work, your life will change and your business will become out of that dark hole.
Yeah.
I kid you not. Like, it almost gets me emotional, bro. Like, I kid you not even a month ago, an opportunity that I had to sign an NDA off, and I can't speak about it. It might be the reason why I come back just for a second to share that, is the reason why I can be at peace and take a full month off from my business that involves social media.
Yeah.
As a big piece, I'm able to take a break and live good. I don't have to worry, need for anything, right, for this month. And this opportunity didn't have to be mine.
Yeah.
When I see how much grace I've been given, there's no way I can walk around here passing judgment on other people or even judging other people. No. I know the grace I was given, so therefore I remain grateful for it all. So just had this, man. I already know. Look. It's like stepbrothers. Did we just become best friends? This is like stepbrothers. Look,
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna make sure I get my number to you, bro, because I want to continue to build with you.
Yeah.
I'm inspired.
Likewise, brother.
First, bro, but I'm also inspired. Me and Dorian talk about this all the time. But seeing content creators that look like myself, it's not a matter of being biased or blocking out anybody else. It's just that the same thing other people want to see. They want to see examples of themselves, like see it working, right? And see it in a way that doesn't mean that they can't be themselves. And I see you, brother, and I'm like, he is flipping the samples that moms and pops used to play. And we're able to like make them our own, and they're going viral on your own terms.
Bro. Dorian, thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a blessing, dude. Oh God, it's so good. He's very strategic, bro.
Absolutely.
Very, 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 very strategic, man. So I'm looking forward to connecting. Right time. But I was going to go live today, and I saw a few people go live. I was like, nah, I don't want to do it because I don't want to. I want to get into it, but I'm glad that you were live. I saw that you were on with another successful content creator earlier. So then I came back and I was like, oh, you still on? Cool. Let me see what's up now. And so, but yes, for us, for our community, I know what you mean, because my cousin, she popped in a little earlier, but long story short, it was just another layer of why, another driving layer of why I have to continue, because she told me, she was like, I want to do content full time, but my parents want me to do XYZ. And I'm like, they don't know the value of content. So I told her, I said, yo, if you're serious, here's my number, hit me up, and I'll be able to help my family reach back and lift her up to actually accomplish her dream, to get, we talked about this an hour ago. We talking about purpose and shortening that moment of clarification. For us, it was 8-12 years. For my cousin, probably 6 months, probably less than that. I was like, just hit me up. You have to make a decision. If you're serious about this stuff, I told her, I said, trust me, I see the videos on TikTok. I see the videos you be doing. I get the trend, but
right.
I said, at some point, you're going to have to be honest with yourself and ask, what value can I share with people? Now, you're into this niche. Now, how can you take what you're learning at this college? How can you flip that and somehow or another enlighten, for lack of a better term, the next community of what you know? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to do that? And so she was like, I got a lot to think about. I said, you do, because you in school and you're not trying to be in school. So we got to figure this out. And so that's why I know I have to go hard. I have to know algorithm. I have to know the essentials to be able to coach my cousin out of this whole thing. Because I told her, I said, if I had a me 6 years ago.
Why you got to go and say that? Why you got to go and say that? Why would you bring, like, I would hope that I would listen first and foremost, because I was bullheaded and stubborn.
Yes. Oh, that's facts. Cause like now, like that's something, I got that gem from my therapist. He dropped that gem and he said, you need to write notes to your younger self often. Yeah, that's a whole nother situation.
No, we got to say that one. Say that, Jim, for next year, because
bro.
Right to your young.
Yeah, bro, because it's that moment of, that's again the money situation. Now that money is better, I can focus on what I need to focus on. All right, that's coming. Cool. What's the real issue? Let's fix those.
Yeah.
And as I do the more internal work, the better my content gets, the more authentic it feels, because I'm getting closer to this. I mean, the ultimate end goal we already know, but until we get to the end goal, we have to constantly refine ourselves and constantly die to ourselves.
Yes.
Constantly.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
people are afraid to let the old them die because they're feeling pain. But what death has not been painful? It just means it's happening the right way. I forget the YouTuber that I watched. Sorry about that. He talked about this, and I got the message at the right time. It's a guy that I never probably would have even watched his video, but the message was so poignant, and it was 40 minutes. I remember watching this video, but that's what he talked about in very like graphic terms. He talked about how you, who you are today, and the person you want to become, there's not enough room in your shoes for both of them to walk in those. Somebody's on top of this, there's not enough room inside of you for both of those to inhabit. Somebody got to go. Somebody got to go. And we stop ourselves and we keep hope for our older selves because the pain of the death. We think it's the pain of losing ourselves. We think it's the pain of just life in general. No. What you're experiencing is the death of old habits, the death of your old self. And as aggressive and as stubborn as that old self has been, why would it leave quietly? Why? Why would you expect it to? It's been with you. It's been attached to you. It is the only you that it knows. It's not leaving quietly. So I now look at pain, bro, and recognize even the last year, man, it's been so much that is going on. And I'll probably document this at some point in another book. But I'm still in real time finding my way through it. But I'm like, God is so good because I look back at this year and I'm like, it's been so many times where I was like, I don't know where it's going next, but I'm staying in the moment, in the present, and recognizing that an obsession over the past is irrelevant. I can't do anything about that. An obsession over the future. Not only can I not change the future as it's going to be, the only control that I have on the future is what I am doing right now. It's the only control. I can't change none of that. So when I had that mindset shift, I realized like, all right, God, like I could not become who I said I wanted to become, who you want me to become, operating with those same tools that I had before.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dude,
I embrace it.
The word clearly says to do not stress yourself about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has its own worries. It has its own everything.
Yeah. You don't want to up with that one. You don't want had I known what was coming up 3-4 years ago about the kind of things that I would be not even dealing with, that I have to process on a daily basis. I know it's the same thing for you, but like even the responsibilities of having a home with all those rooms all those spaces. And then when something goes out, content creation don't know nothing about why you can't stay because we got it right now. We got a toilet that, we barely use, but it's like running. And I'm like, okay, I can fix this, or I can call the maintenance, or I can do this. But it's like, these are the kind of quality problems that we need if we say that we want the things that we want. And that's the part that I didn't understand when I was younger. And I hope people are picking that up. Don't ask for just the blessings that you want. You also have to consider the quality of problems that you want. If you really want something, if you really say you want a car, right? My thing was like the Tesla for a second. Then I had to stop, bro, and imagine what would that Tesla look like on its bummiest day? And will I feel the same way about the purchase that I am getting ready to make? How would I feel when the battery dies out and now it's the biggest hassle that's stopping me from doing the very thing that I'm needing to support that?
Bro, yeah. It makes sense out of content a certain way. It's always more than just just here. It's always more. Somebody asked though, they said, how do you know when the old person needs to die, or how do you know? How do you I'll tell you how you know. You have to filter it through Jesus Christ's lens. The lens is it'll reveal and stand in the word of God. Literally, like I know that sounds super spiritual, but I promise you, if you read the word of God, you read that doggone Bible, I promise you, it'll start to reveal to you. I know when I read the word and I meditate on that, and I listen to a Bible plan and I meditate on it, I literally see my life funneling through whatever plan I'm on. And I can instantly be like, yep, you got to do that. You have to do that. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that. Like it becomes plain. And that's the best filter. Honestly, like I can't point to any other, because you won't know. And you have to be in tune, like what Curtis is talking about for clarification. Like what my brother is talking about, what we're talking about is when you have these moments like that, literally, it's like boom, they done stole it. It's the word is a mirror. They stole it from me. I was getting ready to say it, and they put it in the comments. It's a mirror, and you could see yourself, and you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and take that, because in order to achieve this has to go. So
oh yes,
so humility for me. People say like, oh man, as you go up, stay humble. If you knew my childhood and you knew the environment I was in, and if you knew the constant thorn in my flesh, like if you knew,
you ain't got to add another thorn for me to be reminded of what's the other side of this. You think I want to go back?
Bruh, like, dude, like it's no way in the world. Like I knew if I was gonna have to get here, I had to take a season without placements. I had to take a whole year without placements. I knew it. I was like, in order for me to get this, and let's make it plain for producers. Like if you're trying to transition and get placements, and you're trying to get to that stage, there's a point in your musicality and your production where you're literally gonna have to say, I'm only going to focus on this. I'm going to master this. I'm going to watch as many YouTube videos as I need, save them, put them on 2x if you need to get through them faster. Whatever you got to do, skip the intros, skip the bumper I don't care. Like you have to get it. You have to get it. I'll never forget. In short, that whole story is summed up for me when I first started trying to get placements. They were like, your melodies are there, your harmonies are there, but your drum programming and your layering is not. So you need to learn how to layer sounds and do. So that's what I did. So I learned how to layer sounds, and I was like, dude, no offense, but I'm gonna have to turn this off and turn this on and figure out how to make records. How do you make records? And once I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can bring all this back because I know the fundamentals. But for a while, I had to strip the tech. I had to strip all that music. I had to strip it away. I had to treat myself like a MIDI pack. I had to literally like, okay, you will not play. I almost had to write lines. You will not play major 7 chords with it, but you will not. And so, you know, and it's the same thing with this, like learning content. I'm like, I'm gonna have to take a year. So there's also some practical steps outside of being spiritual in the Bible. It's like it's just some fundamental things you might need to do. You might have to cut some stuff off to really hone in on what needs to die. So at that season, my hunger or my thirst for placements had to die completely. You have to get, I literally had to tell myself, Jan, you will not have placements, and you have to learn to be okay with that. Like it, like it was more of a mindset shift for me personally. Then when I learned business, then God all of a sudden opens up the placement doors. I'm like, and he's like, oh yeah, about the placements will be through your music. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done.
So one thing I want to expand upon, because I could carry this on. I already know you and I gonna we gonna be
it's
gonna
tell it. 10 o'clock.
Man, I keep looking. I look at the clock. I'm like, there's no way. Yes, it did, and I'm grateful for it because it needed to happen. That question, and I'm gonna be a bit transparent here in that I love your answer so much about using God as the lens, And it's something that I wish I would have been told when I was going through that period where I was trying to figure out, why is there a part of me that is hurting so much? And I asked the question, because society puts labels on things, am I going through a depression? It took me going through a season of me thinking it was a depression to give it a name. Wow. That depression led me to going to events where other people who are depressed would go. And I went to, and mind you, I've been in the church my whole life. So it's not like I've seen every Baptist church you can think of, not to mention because my mama played for majority of ones you can think of in LA. My mama didn't play in almost every one of these churches. And that is still very much a part of her fabric. My mom is ordained, like is like a minister, like it's there. But with that said, there's a part of folks who grow up in a church environment where some folks will be so inspired by it that they evolve it immediately out the gate. Some folks, you've been around it so much that you take it for granted, and you start to look at the world and try to be curious about what's in the world. I got to a place where it took me going through so much pain in a worldly industry that I had to get my ego stomped out. I had to get my pride stomped out. I had to get all those things that were keeping me away from God and having a really close relationship like I knew I could have. And this is how great God is. It took me going to that Tony Robbins event I talked about, Unleash the Power Within. And I'm sitting around a group of people, like 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And he's saying things that are about life strategies and ways to like really change the language of your brain. And they're not any degree, like, I shouldn't say any degree, but they're not led by being spiritual words. But let me tell you this thing that happened, bro. I'm sitting in this room, we're clapping, we're jumping up, and we're doing things that are considered priming, right?
Yeah.
I started looking around and I was like, is this how my elders felt like in church? Is this the feeling? Because if it is, I finally get it. I used to watch like the older women like faint, like they got
fall
and
out.
he's young, I'll be like, what's she doing? Like I understand it, and they start speaking in tongues. Like I've been in those churches, right? And I'm like, like we doing this, like we ain't never gonna be able to go home. Like, but that was the younger mindset. It took me going an experience where I fell into a depression. And I remember Jim Carrey said something I thought was so poignant. He said, depression is the mind's way of saying, I'm tired of being I'm tired of wearing the disguise that you've been wearing. And I felt like, you know what? I had to go through that experience of the Tony Robbins event to see what it feels like to feel it, like to feel that energy, to be in a room of other people who want to believe in themselves, other people who want better in life. And that experience made me appreciate church in a way that being in church my whole life never did. Then I went back to church. Because I've been out of it and I'm transitioning back, but after the pandemic, it just became a very
for all of us.
For me, just being honest, not making an excuse, but as I transition back, I know the reason why I can get in there and why clapping now to the songs doesn't feel like, I wonder if I look goofy clapping like the way I clap. Now it's like I am here for an appreciation of what God has done in my life, and it's different. But God is so masterful in the way he does it. My route's not going to be his route.
Exactly.
But we get to that destination.
Exactly, bro. Yeah.
So for somebody who's in that place where you're thinking like, does the old me need to die? I would say this. Do you find yourself in a place where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and sick and tired?
Exactly.
Something needs to change. That's probably a sign when the things that you go to, the movies, the entertainment, the social media distractions, when they don't serve you the same way they used to, and you need more, that is an obvious sign that you're being spoken to. Whether you decide to make that a spiritual journey, it's completely on you. But I feel like no matter what you do, God is so masterful that no matter what, it's going to come back to that. It's going to be done in a way that you overstand it.
Exactly. 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 It cannot be undone. It can't be undone,
You
bro.
see it? Once you see it, it's like when you talk about your process with social media and the content. Once you saw like, oh, that's the way people interpret music. You can't unsee that because then you're being disobedient to the very blessing that changed your whole situation.
Bro, it's if I could ever recommend a church, find a pastor that is solid and is theological, you know, all of that, make sure it's theologically sound. But also,
Sure.
if you find a pastor who's an entrepreneur, a successful one,
Man, I'm already seeing. Look, Ruslan had me come out to his church.
yeah,
That's where I met Belief. I met John Gibbs. I met all of those brothers. But like, that was an experience where it was like, this is different.
yep,
And I think that now's the time. And that's why I'm so grateful to see churches embracing like the internet experience fully.
exactly.
Finding a way to be as a part of the content flow, because it's like, if those folks who are sharing the light and speaking the truth, if they're not there and people don't see it, but they demonize the place entirely, it's like we're not using these tools that we could be using to bring more folks
Exactly.
to the very things that are changing our lives. I think that's,
Yeah,
it's something that, you know, when you know, you know, but that's why I'm not so aggressive about needing to push that forward. I feel like you, bro, it's no mystery to me why you are thriving. I'm hearing it from the source. That energy is already in the right place before you ever press record.
bro. I'm telling you, bro. So the previous pastor, I spoke this literally. My previous pastor, I was at Phenomenal Church. I was playing there, but he's an entrepreneur, and he's heavy on kingdom principles. And I literally said to myself, I said, this dude is going to preach me out of the church. Not in a bad way, but I am going to embody what he's been preaching all of this time from 2019 to 2020. This dude kept hammering your purpose, your gift, operate in your gift, operate in what your creative capacity allows you to do. That is your natural state. He said, he said, it's no disrespect to people who work 9 to 5s. He said, but your native state of being is a creative person. He said, that's what so a book that you need to write, recipe that you need to make, whatever. He didn't know about content back then, but I understood where he was going.
Yeah.
He preached me right out of the church.
Bro.
I applied all those principles. I was like, I'm doing what you preached, and now God is calling me to expand, and it's time for me. He said, I thought you was leaving to go play at another church. Right. Now that I know, he said, look, bro, he said,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
He said, the last thing he said, now that I know, he said, you're going to walk in some doors. And he said, I do not want you to get content with these doors, because God has the last door for you to walk through. He said, when you walk through that door, he said, it's going to be on the other side. You're going to sit down, and it's going to be your room. And it's going to be that last door. It's going to be for people to walk through for your room. I was like, he said, so do not get content with doors open. And he said, because that's not the destination.
Yeah.
He's like, now that I know, he said, oh, you're going to thrive. You going by faith. Bro, I'll be transparent. That was $3,200 a month. Like, I was making $800 a week playing there, and I walked away.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, you stepping out on faith. Oh, nah, you.
But isn't that the purpose? Like, even when I think about when we're doing content creation to help people,
yeah,
interesting when people apologize for being productive off of something they learned from us, right? Like, some people I know exist here as a means to distract you and just keep you engaged with their content and don't really serve a purpose outside of that. But if you watch one of his brother's videos and it moves you to create, that's I don't want to speak for you, but it's like that's kind of the goal, is to inspire something in you. You're doing it through music. I am doing it through words. And if somebody says, I stopped watching your content because it made me want to go do something, mission accomplished. I heard Gary Vee say that, and it's really resonated with me because I'm like, as much as content, the content game is really about the numbers in a lot of ways and how obsessive we can become. That's mission accomplished. If
Dude.
you're people like, I forget the name of I believe it's 11 people you meet before you go to heaven. That's the name of the movie.
the title alone.
Was that? I think it was that, but don't quote me on the number. But it was I don't want to give it away, but the main character passes away, and in his journey to get to heaven, the guy just he worked at a carnival, right? He was just a guy that, I shouldn't say just a guy, but he was a guy that basically turned the carnival and he operated it, and he passed away, saving a life in that. During this story, he meets different people who he had a ripple effect on their life just by doing the work that he was doing there. Where somebody will be like, all he does is operate a machine. What impact could you have? It was such an important story because it helped me to understand, dog, you don't know who you're talking to, how you're talking to them, when you're talking to them, and what that word could inspire within them that then helps an amount of people you don't even have access to.
Exactly.
So do the work either way. Don't be apologetic about it. Don't, when you get in your mind, like Dorian had to tell me this one time. I was like, man, I got to a place where I just didn't want to do social media anymore. And I was like, I just don't see the purpose of it. It's a distraction. I was talking about all the cons of it. And he was like, you know what keeps me going? That one person that says, I felt like giving up. And your message was timely, and that stopped me from giving up. I get that on a daily basis, and I became so cold to it because it happened so much that I had to call myself out and say, I think you're just becoming like immune, like you're just becoming jaded by it. But I had to really like sit with that idea and think like, man, these people don't owe me their time. These people don't owe me telling me this. They could literally walk their whole life and I wouldn't know until I got to meet my 11 people before heaven that I had this ripple effect. But if you are changing even one person's life and that person is you, that's enough. That's enough to start. That's enough to get up every single day and be the best version of yourself. But if you are changing your own life, I can guarantee you this, you will change someone else's.
Yeah.
You couldn't stop it if you wanted to.
Nah, bro. It's so deep down the funnel. It's so deep down the funnel, bro. So
it's great to have a conversation like this with you. So thank you, bro.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Somebody asked for prayer. I'm always down to pray. Now don't mess with me.
You want to end this out with one? Come on.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good to pray. Lord, we thank you for this conversation. Just popped up on my brother's live out the blue. But for you, it was the divine destination and appointment time. And you are so cold with it, where you leave out certain details of the day and it seems by happenstance, but you already pre-designed this all the way back from being in our mother's wombs. You are cold with it. You're the GOAT of all time. Thank you for my brother. Thank you for all that he's imparting through his content and the people he's encouraging. Continue to give him his divine favor. And he's got the secret sauce. When a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing, but there's a second part of that people omit. He finds favor with the Lord. So, Lord, I pray that you continue to allow him to walk in that divine favor. And everybody on this live, I pray for divine creativity for each and every person, something that they've been struggling with, an idea. Let it unlock for them to show them just how good you are. Because if you can unlock their creativity, they'll have no issues serving you. So we thank you for this time, and we bless you. Once again, you are the GOAT, the real GOAT. Amen. And we thank you, God. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man. Oh, man. That was the first time that has ever happened on a live for me. And,
likewise, surprisingly.
Bro, I'm glad that you were because, man, yeah, that's you are a blessing. Continue to be a blessing, man, to not only us on the outside, but to your family. And, man, I'll be talking to you soon, brother.
All right, my man.
Come on out.